Under the harsh glare of television lights, in a room thousands of miles from home, an American prisoner of war sat before the world. His face was gaunt, his uniform ill-fitting, his eyes steady yet hollow. Commander Jeremiah Denton, a U.S. Navy pilot shot down over North Vietnam, had been ordered to speak to the cameras. His captors wanted him to praise their humane treatment of American POWs, a carefully staged performance meant to deceive the world. But Denton had something else in mind. As he stared into the lens, he began to blink, slowly, deliberately, rhythmically. To those watching back in the United States, it looked like nervousness. But to American intelligence experts, those blinks spelled out a word in Morse code, Torture. It was 1966, and the Vietnam War was raging. American pilots captured by the North Vietnamese were being held in brutal conditions at prisons like the infamous Hanoi Hilton. Torture, starvation, and isolation were routine. Yet no clear proof of that had reached the outside world until Jeremiah Denton blinked his eyes. In that single moment, he turned his captivity into an act of resistance. His message, concealed in the smallest gesture imaginable, became one of the most courageous communications in military history. Before the war, Denton had been a career naval aviator, known for his discipline and devotion. On July 18, 1965, during a bombing mission over North Vietnam, his A-6 intruder was shot down. He and his navigator, Lieutenant Bill Chudy, were captured almost immediately. From that day forward, Denton endured nearly 8 years of imprisonment, much of it in solitary confinement. The North Vietnamese tried to break him through relentless torture. They wanted confessions, propaganda statements, and cooperation. Denton refused. Even when his body was failing, his spirit did not yield. When the Vietnamese arranged a television interview in May 1966, they believed they could use Denton as a tool of propaganda. They told him what to say, that he was treated well, that he understood their cause, that America's bombing campaign was wrong. But in front of the cameras, he did something they didn't expect. Maintaining a calm tone, Denton recited the words they demanded, but behind his measured voice, his eyes spoke the truth. He blinked out torture in Morse code, risking instant discovery and almost certain death if his captors caught on. The interview was broadcast internationally, and when U.S. analysts decoded the blinking, the revelation sent shockwaves through Washington. For the first time, the world had direct proof that American POWs were being tortured in North Vietnam. Denton's act was more than defiance. It was communication from within the heart of the enemy's prison, a lifeline to truth. For the remainder of his captivity, Denton continued to endure. He was held for 7 years and 7 months, one of the longest periods of confinement of any American POW. He faced brutal interrogations, malnutrition, and illness. Yet his leadership among fellow prisoners became legendary. He insisted that all prisoners of war maintain their dignity, remember their duty, and resist in any way they could. He created codes for communication between cells, shared faith and courage, and reminded his men that the war outside would one day end, and that they must survive to tell their story. When the POWs were finally released in 1973, Jeremiah Denton stepped off the plane in the Philippines and spoke words that resonated with every American watching. "We are honored to have had the opportunity to serve our country under difficult circumstances. God bless America." His voice was calm but resolute, the same tone he had used under the camera lights in Hanoi, still unbroken after 8 years of suffering. In the years that followed, Denton continued his service to his country. He became a rear admiral in the U.S. Navy, later serving as a U.S. Senator from Alabama. Yet nothing he achieved afterward eclipsed the quiet heroism of that one moment, the blink that told the world the truth. It wasn't a grand speech or a battlefield victory, but a signal born of courage and intellect, delivered through pain and fear. Jeremiah Denton's story reminds us that even in the darkest circumstances, integrity can find a way to speak. His blinks were more than a message. They were a testament to the endurance of the human spirit, the unyielding will to resist oppression, and the power of truth against lies. In a war marked by confusion and propaganda, one man's eyes cut through the noise. The American POW who blinked torture didn't just reveal his suffering, he revealed his strength. And in doing so, Jeremiah Denton spoke not just for himself, but for every soul imprisoned by tyranny, declaring through the narrowest window of freedom that even in chains, truth can never be silenced.